Welcome back to the Lunch Table Food for Thought. I'm Nico Blitz. Subscribe, like, comment, rate, because that's how I know you guys support us, and we need all the support we can get from the world, man. Usually I bring in my hip hop heads, my rap heads, my R&B heads, but from time to time I like to introduce you guys to a lot of like alternative music, if you may. all these Coachella vibes that really just like get you in your feels. My next guest, though, I think I've been talking to her for over a month now. I just found her on Instagram, and I think it was just after a couple Instagram videos, I was like, okay, she's kind of dope. Checked out her Spotify. She has this project out called Keep in Mind It May Be Behind You, and she goes by the name of Kendyle Page. Kendall, was popping, homegirl?
What's up?
Yeah, I think it's really been a long time since we've been trying to set this thing up.
I know, yeah. It's been like missed opportunities, but we're here, so we're good.
Couple missed opportunities, but this is the opportunity that it all leads to.
Yes.
Kendall, I don't know anything about you personally, so let's just start from the beginning. Where are you from?
I'm from a very small town, Circleville, New York.
Circleville.
Yeah, it sounds pretty small already. It's like a population of 3,000 people.
Oh my God, that's hella small.
Yep.
Ange over there is from Rochester. Do you know where Circleville is?
Yeah. No. Do you know where I know where you are. Do you know
City compared
do you know Middletown? No?
like where?
Damn.
It's literally like
is it up
it's north, but not like north, not like Canada north.
Like
I'm pretty sure
like-
Rochester is like more north than Middletown.
So just to give people an idea, where's
We have to look it
Circleville?
up.
I have to look at a map.
Wait, so where's Circleville in comparison to like New York City?
It's an hour north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're over there.
Yep.
Past the Hudson.
Past the Hudson. Yep.
Sure, but let's just say past the Hudson. So, population of, you said 3,000 people.
Yep.
So what was it like for you growing up in like a super small town? Because I know high schools that had 6,000 people in it.
Pretty much, yeah. Mine definitely had a lot of people in it. I think my town was just really small, and we were surrounded by other bigger towns. So
Yeah.
it just kind of like, I never felt like we were super small until like you just read the numbers and you were like, wow, we're literally just a street.
Yeah.
And there's 3,000 of us.
That's crazy.
It was honestly awesome. I mean, we're a really close community, and I have a huge family in that community, so everyone really knows us.
How big is your family?
Well, my grandfather was married 4 times.
Oh, wow.
And had children with all of them. So we stay close with like all of them. So we're just this like, I don't know, Frankenstein of a family,
That's
I would say.
crazy.
Yeah.
And you're cool with like all your entire family.
Yeah, all of his wives. They were all introduced to me as my grandmas. So it was just like, my mom is one of 11.
Okay, wait. So now I gotta ask: was your grandfather in a polygamous relationship or all separate?
All separate.
Okay.
Married, divorce,
Damn.
just 4 times.
That's insane. I'm actually really, just to hear that alone, I'm actually really surprised that you're close to all your family
All of them,
members.
right?
Yeah.
Everyone always says that. They're like, it's super weird seeing you guys like all like cooperate and be cool with each other. I mean, we're crazy, but like, it's just, we work together. It's awesome. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So then what was it like growing up with that big of a family though?
It was dope. I mean, I enjoyed it, especially having that type of support system.
Yeah.
You never felt alone going to an event. I had these really small shows that I started out doing, just like anywhere I could get a gig, a burger joint, a bar, whatever it was.
Damn.
I was performing there. And some of the time, it would just be my family in the audience, but like it looked packed.
Hey, that's so funny. See, you're the type of person everyone would want to bring because you probably roll up with like 30 people. Like, yeah, we good.
It's true.
That's
But
cool.
They're awesome. I really have nothing to complain about.
So then from the jump, was your family just supportive of your music?
Yeah, my grandfather actually, he's just like music everything.
Yeah.
He had a doo-wop group. He was doing music for like ever. And then his brother is David Valentine. Was a famous flute player.
Nice.
Basically, like, I saw him, he just came to Christmas one day and showed me a video of him performing with Jennifer Lopez and Mark Anthony.
What?
And I
That's
saw that, and
crazy.
you just, like, see the crowd, like, freaking out over my uncle playing, like, the flute, which is just, like, such
Yeah.
an instrument you don't expect that from, but it's jazz flute, you know, he won a Grammy for it, just, like, all this crazy stuff. And I never saw him because he was always living, like, this crazy life of just, like, coming home with crazy stories, but yeah, it just interested me so much, and how, like, you could affect people like that.
Yeah.
Especially seeing him perform with Jennifer Lopez, who has been, like, an idol of mine forever. It's just, it was really awesome, and just kind of inspired me to want to live this, like, life of entertainment.
Well, yeah, when you see somebody that close in reach do phenomenal things like that, I'm sure it makes you want to be like, oh, well, I can do that too.
Exactly. Pretty much. And they were super supportive, just like, what do you want to do? Let's get you into classes. Let's get you learning, whatever. And at first it was just dance. Like, me and all my sisters were, you know, we could choreograph dances at home, whatever. And then we
What would you guys dance to?
Oh my God. Top 40, definitely. Like, we were all into, you know, Kesha, and then rap too. We loved rap, anything. Just anything we could dance to. And we're still like that. But then they finally got us into classes, and we started learning, you know, we were taking dance literally 6 times a week. So then we started getting into competitions, and then won first for hip hop and nationals. It was just like so dope. Loved it.
That's sick.
Yeah, my sisters were definitely better at me than it. Like, I'm coordinated but like not flexible at all. So there was just no chance of me having like a huge future in dance, but it helped performing when I sang.
So you weren't like in the front line when it came to all of you.
No.
You were like in the background,
Yeah.
just like,
Helping
complimentary.
everyone out.
No, that's cool.
Yeah.
At least at that point, you kind of knew your place. And I mean, you know, all in good ways, though.
Yes.
Because you being able to incorporate everything you learned from dance into your own performances. Now I'm assuming that you dance when it comes to your live performances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything choreographed, but that's like the dream to, you know, have like backup dancers and be able to put on that like full performance, because I come from a background like that.
Yeah.
Shows that I've had now are kind of like, you know, we're trying to do like the full band aspect of it, but no like huge stages yet where I can be like, all right, let me get dancers in and like do that, even though that is such a strong part of my background.
For sure. And, you know, also looking up to J-Lo, too.
Yeah, exactly.
It perfectly makes sense.
Yeah, it's so true. She's like definitely one of the biggest inspirations. Not like music-wise, but definitely performance-wise.
Yeah.
Just like putting on a show and showing people like, this is what I'm like made of.
Oh, yeah, because back then it was literally only like the Beyoncés and the J-Los of that time doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and now it's just, I think that's what a lot of female artists strive for, is just like having that full-on production of putting on a real show for people, because a lot of people are talented when it comes to singing, and, you know, I think it's the performance-wise that separates you from the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's the same conversation I always have with Taylor when it comes to, let's say, Michael Jackson, for example.
Yeah.
The only person that I could really think of in terms of like a male performer who's doing something like that is Chris Brown.
Yeah.
It's like
Chris Brown, even Bruno Mars, like he's getting into that now too. And it's just like, you can only name a few, but you know them.
So then
Everyone does.
do you feel like that whole, like, I wouldn't want to like just dumb it down to dancing, but let's just say dancing as the placebo. Do you need something extra on top of just performing your song in order to ascend to that superstar level?
Yeah, I mean, I think once you reach that level, like that's where you're at. Like if you're on like a major tour, that's what I would want. Like I would want backup dancers. I would want the whole production. But like if you're just doing like a little opener for someone or just like little spots here and there, a lot of people are just focusing on your voice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't get a full production. You don't get that privilege unless, you know, you're a big headliner or a big opener for someone who's huge, you know?
That's true. But I mean, I could also argue that, let's say you're a small-time performer and then you go everywhere with like a gang of dancers and whatnot.
Right?
That's kind of impressive.
I've totally thought that. And I definitely would. I think it's just, I mean, I had a huge release show in New York a couple months back after I released my album. And the stage just wasn't big enough. Like, it fit my band and me, and that was it. Like,
Mm.
that was tight, and that was it. Like,
Yeah.
if I were to have dancers up there, it just would have been a mess. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have the full production in order to get that, I think is what I'm trying to say.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the stage physically has to be big enough.
Exactly.
Type of thing. Yeah.
To fit what you're trying to do, or else it just looks messy. And in
Yeah.
that case, like, I'd rather just skip the dancers.
Yeah. So was there any sibling rivalry when it came to you guys performing?
My sisters don't sing. I mean, we definitely tried that whole like let's be a group thing, but that was very short lived. But I grew up with my two sisters in my house. I have four
Okay.
older brothers, but they are 12 years older than me, so
Oh,
it was
shit,
just
yeah.
like we never lived in the same house, and we were always just like looking for different ways to like put on a show for our parents. And just like be like, look, we can do like Kendall's gonna sing and we're gonna dance in the back. Like I think my sisters were never like trying to compete singing wise, and I think we all just kind of knew our place. Just like my sister Natalie can just like kill it dancing, and Sabrina she's like our youngest sister,
Yeah.
so she kind of looked up to both of us, and she can kind of sing and dance, but it was never like I'm better than you kind of thing. It was more just like let's support each other. Let's do
That's
this
tight.
shit. I mean, we're sisters. We fight, but like,
Yeah.
sister fights. I mean, they're not nothing like.
They're not the best, but you know. But I think it's cool how you guys can all like just cooperate with each other and
Definitely.
just support each other. Because I mean, me and my sister, we butt heads all the fucking time,
Really?
and it's just like up to recently, maybe the past 3 years, where we got to a point where we're like, yeah, you do your thing and I got you. I do my thing, I got you type of
Yes,
thing.
that comes with like age too. Because when we were younger, we were definitely at each other's throats, but not in like a competitive kind of way. Just kind of
Yeah.
in like we're three girls living in the same house. Like we're gonna hate each other.
What's your
point.
age range?
I'm 21. My sister Natalie's 20, and then my sister Sabrina's 17.
So you're the eldest.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the oldest girl, and then we have all older brothers.
Did you ever feel like you had to, I guess, lead the way for your younger sister since you're the oldest amongst the three?
Yeah, I mean, me and Natalie are so close in age that like we were kind of brought up as twins. So it was kind of just like my mom bought us the same clothes, and
Yeah.
it was never. I mean, I definitely feel in some type of way that I'm a lot more mature than both of them. Like just growing up, everyone was always just like, "How old are you again?" And
Yeah.
like asking me like just questions that like you don't ask a 15-year-old, like how do you know so much about this, and kind of just like always felt older than I was. So my sisters never liked that because I was always like the mom, and they were like, "You're not mom, like don't treat me like you're my mom."
Yeah.
So it was kind of hard to separate the I'm your older sister and like need to be cool sometimes
Yeah.
kind of thing.
I feel you.
But me and Natalie were like always getting into trouble together.
Like what?
Like just this is a podcast, right? So I can say
hey,
whatever.
you can say whatever you want.
Just like stuff that my little sister Sabrina like learned from, like don't pull this shit. Like first time getting caught smoking pot, you're
Yeah.
like, mom catches you. You're like, what are we gonna say? What's the story? Like,
where were
we
you?
need to figure it out right now.
Where'd you guys get caught?
We didn't get caught in the act. We like bought our first bowl or whatever, and we hid it after we like smoked in it, and my mom like smells it obviously, and she's like looking through all my bags, finds it, and we named it, and we like painted nail polish on it, and we called it John. Just because we were stupid. We were 17. We were like, whatever. And she just comes out and she's like, I need to talk to both of you. And we run into the bathroom, lock ourselves in the bathroom. We're like, what's the story? We need to have a straight story right now. Like, this isn't ours. What is it? Like, what do we say? So I think our little sister Sabrina kind of like learned from that. And just other stuff, like letting go of certain things. Like if your parent tells you to clean your room, like just fucking do it. Like this isn't like, how old are we now? And I think Sabrina's just starting to get that. Because when you're the baby, like,
You kind of like
You're
see
the
what you
baby.
guys are doing, and she kind of has to follow.
yeah, pretty much. And when you're older, like some of that shit, you're like, wow, I cannot believe I fought with my mom for 3 days straight just about cleaning my room before I went out. It's just like girl drama,
Yeah.
You just have that in a house with all women. I don't know how my dad just dealt with
all
that.
That's crazy.
A house of all women, and he went from like having a house of all boys with my brothers, and then they grew up, moved out to like a house of all girls. So, and then all of our girlfriends, like,
Oh my God.
it's a lot.
You know, coming from a man's perspective, that's pretty difficult.
Yeah, and he kept himself like just good, kept his composure through the whole time. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think it tells a lot about your dad, who was able to, I guess, go through all that, or like, you know, sustain the fact that he's living with like 4 women with like, you know, I feel like women are always more emotional, so like going through like all of those emotions at once is kind of like, oh wow. So your dad's a very strong person for that.
Oh my God, he really is. He's the best, and he was just like always so supportive. No matter like what we wanted to do, he was just like, tell me how much you need, and you got it.
Really?
Like, he was just the best.
Wow.
He started his own company like right out of high school doing carpeting and flooring, and now he like owns this whole corporation, and he's just like a really just like role model, just like perfect role model. Just,
well, that alone, like, you know, building his own carpet company, you said? Building his own carpet company, it makes sense because he knows that someone is able to create their own thing and then make a living off of it.
Yes, and I think that's what kind of eased him into I don't want to go to college. I want to perform. Like, I want to be a musician. Like, having that conversation with him, he didn't go to college, so he kind of pushed it on us to, like, you should go to college. Like, this life isn't for everyone. And my little sister, Sabrina, wants to be a nurse. So, like, she's in there, like, ready to go to college and get it done.
And that's so funny because my younger sister, her name's Sabrina, too, and she is a nurse.
That's so weird.
That's so weird,
oh
dude.
My gosh. That is really weird. Okay. Holy crap. Okay.
So then, what was it? So you told your dad you didn't want to go to college.
Yeah.
What did he say initially?
So, basically, this was right before I went to the show for the 4. So I was just like ready to be on this TV show, and I was going to community college at the time because I was just like, let me just get some kind of associate just to make my parents happy, and I can do my music and just be left alone. But I had 1 more semester left, and that was in the middle of the show. So I was just like, I need to decide between signing up for the semester or the show.
Damn.
And so I went to my parents and I was like, I have to take a semester off. And they were not happy because they're like, you have 1 more semester left. Like, you can do this. Just like do the show and do school. And I'm like, I need to focus on one. Like, this is the choice. Like, this is what I have to do right now. We have to move right now. And I need to tell these people, like, I'm in or I'm not. And I was just like, I'm going to school for liberal arts. Like, there's nothing for me here. And they were honestly way more supportive than I thought they were going to be. At first, it was kind of just like, think this through. Do you really want to do this? Just like normal parent questions where they want to actually make sure this is your choice. And then them just being like, yeah, let's do it. You know, like, go to Cali and have a great time. It was just really weird. Really awesome.
So they just shipped you off.
Yeah, we're kind of just like, go and do it, you know, because you're going to regret it if you don't.
Wait, and how old were you when they shipped you off?
I was 19.
Oh my God.
Yeah, when I was on the show. They were
nuts.
crazy. And they were like, LA, like, I don't know. Because we're from New York, and my brother had come to LA, but previously I had 2 brothers here at the time.
Were your brothers also musicians trying
My
to make it over here?
brother Tio was an actor, and my brother Troy, he came here to be a singer and then ended up like, it hit him really hard when he realized like how hard it was to become something in the industry. And he has a whole family, you know, he has 3 kids that are my nieces and nephews. So it's just like, you know, when you have a family, it's a lot different. You know, when you're 19 and you have nothing keeping you, like literally no roots anywhere, it's just like, go and do what you got to do and, you know, try your best. But like, the agreement was, if it doesn't work out, I have to come home and go back to school. So
that's a fair agreement.
Yeah, I was fine with it because I was like, I'm doing something. So
did it scare you being a 19-year-old and seeing how your older brothers were doing in their careers? Did it scare you moving out here?
Yeah, I mean, my brother Tio, like, he came out here for acting. And it was just like, it turned into something better. So like, he decided he didn't want to be an actor anymore, and then went more into producing.
Producing music.
Yeah.
Okay.
And before that, he was getting like really cool gigs. He was in that like Dark Knight show on Hulu, but like a bunch of extra stuff. But
so
like
he was doing it. He was doing it on a
progress.
small scale.
Exactly. Which I don't think a lot of people think of when they move out here. They're like, I'm just gonna make it. Like I'm gonna find a producer and become super dope. And it's just like, that's not it.
Shoot, even just getting a little cameo on The Dark Knight is hard, dude.
Exactly. Yeah, it was dope. Like telling everyone my brother's on TV was just super awesome. So when I came out here, I was by myself. Like my parents were like, if you make the show, we'll fly out and see you on your next episode.
If you make the 4.
If I make the 4, yeah. So if you become a member of the 4, you get another episode. That's when we'll fly out. So I only had my brother Tio and my cousin Richie, who also moved out here to be an actor. And being alone, like in my own little hotel room that they set me up in, just like, I can't even legally drink alcohol. So
what am I going to do by myself?
In LA, like it was super weird, but they were really they really trusted me, which was cool because as a 19-year-old, you don't think of your parents as trusting.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think that was like affirmation enough that they trust you.
Yeah,
like
and that they like kind of believe in my talent. You know what I mean? And, like they were like, okay, yeah, do it. Like you can do this. And we'd watch the show before I went out, and they were like, yeah, you could totally beat her, or you could totally like win over this person. And yeah, they just were really.
And were your parents paying for everything? Like you...
The show actually paid for everything.
Oh, the show paid for everything.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
they paid for my tickets out there. We were in the middle of a snowstorm when I had to fly out.
Oh,
so no planes were going out. I was like, this is a sign. So then I had to take a train to D.C. and then fly out of D.C. to L.A. Yeah, it was really weird.
Dude, see... That's kind of scary because I probably would have looked at that storm like, fuck, you have one of two things to do. You can either look at it as a sign, just be like, yeah, it's not going to work.
Yep.
Or it's kind of like you just go through hell for a second just to get to California.
Exactly. Being in New York City in a snowstorm was just like shit enough. I mean, I come from a small town, upstate New York. So like when snow happens, we all just stay home. It's whatever. But in New York City, people have to make it happen. So my parents drove me down to the train station. And it was just like walking through slush and dirt and grossness. And then you get to the train station and no one's willing to help you. They're all like, I'm like, what train do I go to? What am I doing? Like,
everyone's just like, fuck off.
Yeah, they're like, not my job to help you. Meanwhile, like, I'm asking people that work there, like, where do I go? It was really scary, but kind of cool.
You have a lot of guts to want to go through all that just to get over to California. Mm-hmm. So then you, as a 19-year-old, getting shipped off to California in a hotel by yourself.
Yep.
What was your first night like?
Really, at first it was lonely because like you meet all the other contestants and everyone's like, you're competition. I don't want to fuck with you, like kind of thing.
So all of you stayed at like the same hotel?
The same hotel.
Okay.
All the contestants did. But if you remember, before they put you in a different hotel. So all the contestants are like trying to talk, compare notes, but at the same time they're all like,
I don't want to get to know you too much,
because that kind of thing. And so I called my brother and I was like, can you please pick me up? Like I have nowhere to be and like no one to talk to, and it's really weird and it's anxious because you're like, I have an audition tomorrow and like, fuck, like this is it, or or I get sent home, and you have to do a bunch of like pre-auditions before you actually make TV. So they flew me out here to audition in front of like all the producers first. And it sucked so bad because I had laryngitis. Literally had laryngitis as I'm about to audition for this show. And they bring you into a vocal coach to like warm up real quick before your audition. And the vocal coach goes, what are you doing here? And I was like, listen, man, I can really sing on a good day. I swear. And he's just
you were singing with laryngitis.
Yeah, it was really bad.
So then how'd that audition go?
I thought horrible. I tried my best, and once I got into the room, I was like warmed up a little bit. The guy gave me some tips on like what to do before singing, and like I had to like gargle a bunch of salt water before I went. And I get out there, I say my name, and they're like, are you all right? Because I'm like, no.
I'm good.
I'm like, I'm not a smoker. I'm fine. They're like, fuck, like, what are you doing here? So I just sang, and I was like, everyone have a great night. Like, call my parents. I was like, I so didn't make it. But I didn't know because they don't tell you right away. They're like, we'll call you because they want to go through everyone. And I'm hearing everyone else's auditions. Like, I'm hearing everyone else in the room that's, like, singing for them. They're clapping. They're going crazy.
And you were kind of just, what? You were kind of just like, fuck, how am I competing against these people?
I get up there, and I was just like, I'm going to sing That's What I Like by Bruno Mars. And just gave it my best shot. And none of them, like, they clapped at the end, but you could tell. I was like, this is such a pity clap. Like, fuck it, whatever.
Yeah.
They're like, great try. Great try.
So did you make it past that round?
I did, yeah. It was on the show.
What?
So, yeah, I made it past that round. They called me. They were like, yeah, we really want you to fly out again and come back and be on the show. I was like, are you sure? What's happening?
Are you calling the right person?
Super weird. But, yeah, I flew back out and then recorded I was out here for like 3 weeks because they kept like pushing my episode. They were like, it's not your time yet. It's not your time yet. I was like, I'm never going to get on the show. But that I finally like get out there and like auditioned for them and met the celebrity judges, did that whole thing. And it was dope. Like my first audition was so dope. I was so happy with it. Like they tried to fuck me over because TV shows are like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's entertainment.
Fuck you over in what way?
So TV shows don't really tell you this when you watch them, that like your talent comes second. But like when you get there, your producer's like, your talent comes second. So do you still want to do this because it's great exposure, or
so what's first?
Do you want to
your
go
look?
home? So first is entertainment. That's like the main thing. What can we do to make the audience feel more involved, and what can we do to make the audience like more entertained? Like we need drama.
Like does that come back to like your backstory and all that?
So when I've been auditioning for TV shows since 2011, so after like 10 years of this, I finally make a show, and I didn't even apply for the 4. My friend ended up winning a show on ABC called Boy Band.
Okay.
And we went to middle school together. So he calls me up and he's like, my manager's doing scouting for the 4, and I thought of you right away. Like, we used to sing together. I love your voice. I sent her your Instagram, and she really wants you. So I call her up, and I'm like, what is this show? I never even heard of it, blah, blah, blah. She sends me clips, and then that whole process happened.
Yeah.
So just, like, trying for so many years, going to, like, open call after open call after open call, and then I finally make a show without even applying for it. It's just
the irony.
Ridiculous. I was like, I'm making a video where I tell everyone singing shows are shit and don't go to the open calls. But, yeah, they're just, like, backstory. That's what everyone wants to know. Like, what's going on that's super sad in your life? What can we, like,
how can we make it appealing to the audience? Yeah.
About, like, anything. I remember auditioning for the X Factor one year, and they were like, what's your backstory? I was like, well, my mom had cancer at the time. My mom had breast cancer. And so I'm talking to them about that. I'm like, my mom has breast cancer. Like, you try and pitch yourself to them. Like, we could use this and this and this and whatever. And I remember a judge looking at me and saying, oh, another sick mom. I was like, holy shit.
Damn, dude.
Like, damn.
That's nuts to
I didn't even want to
me.
bring my sick mom into this, but I thought it would work, and you just fucking tore me apart.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was really bad. So the 4 kind of just played off this, they kind of made scenarios for me. So they were like, do your parents support your music? And I was just like, yeah, I mean, if I don't make it, if I don't make the show, they want me to go back to college and blah, blah, blah. They're like, let's play off of that. Like, let's
So they
do
were
that.
just thinking of any way possible to try to
Yeah.
like flip some sort of story and blow it up.
Blow it up. So basically they made up this whole story that my dad said if I don't make it in the music business by 2018, that I have to go back to college and pursue like a practical career.
So then how did it make you feel knowing that they were trying to configure or fabricate a story for you?
You don't like it at all. Like, not in the slightest. Especially because they were kind of bringing my dad into it, and my dad was really nervous about anything being on TV about our family because he's like, I don't want our dirty laundry just like hanging out for everyone to see. That was like the one thing he said to me before I left. So I wasn't trying to bring him into anything, but of course, like the one thing they picked was about my dad.
About your dad, yeah. So how'd he take it?
He was just like, if it gets you on the show, it gets you on the show. Like once I called him, and told him about it. And he was like, honestly, that story's not as bad as I thought they were going to make up. So he was kind of happy with it. And that's like the one thing I get asked about in interviews. Like, it's the end of 2018. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go back to college? I'm like, no, that was like such bullshit.
Such a fabricated story. Yeah.
It was never anything. Like, they just really like screwed us over because they tried to make it. So they told me I was singing Me, Myself, and I for my first audition. They don't let us pick the songs. So
God.
They're like, give us 20 songs you can sing super well, and
they'll pick one.
We'll pick one of them. So I gave them 20 songs. They said no to all of them. And then they were like, you're going to sing this one and this one. We think your voice will be great. Pillow Talk and Me, Myself, and I.
Camera's good? Okay, cool. I just got to double check it.
No, you're good.
So Me, Myself, and I.
Yeah. And then I'm like, I don't like either of those songs. Like, they don't really fit my voice. Me, Myself, and I is a little too high range for me. They're like, you're going to work with a vocal coach. It'll be fine. So I'm like, fuck, great. Like, it's going to be my first time on TV in front of the entire world, and I can't even pick what I'm going to sing.
Yeah.
So I try and change their mind multiple times because I wanted to do a Tyler, the Creator cover.
Oh, what song?
See You Again.
Oh, my God. You're fucking cool. You're fucking cool.
It's just like, I have a cover on YouTube. You should see it. But
I'm going to check it out after this.
Yeah. And then it's just like one song that I know if I do my own rendition on it, everyone's going to think it's super different and like that kind of thing. So I try to push it. I sing it for them. They're like, yeah, that sounded great, but like it's not a hit. We need
no
hits.
one knows the song.
Exactly. So they're like, you don't have to sing the rapping part. It's fine. You don't have to do the rapping part. I'm like, okay, fine. So I make the whole thing like a singing thing, like of Me, Myself, and I. And then the day before my audition, they come out and they're like, the song that the like rendition that you're doing is illegal because of copyright and blah, blah, blah. Like, try to make this whole thing about it. And they're like, you have to do the rapping part. And I was just like, you want me to rap? I'm not a rapper. Like, I'm not a rapper.
See, a part of me just makes me feel like they wanted to... That's kind of a little twist sabotage. They wanted you to put.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was sabotage. And then my brother was like, it could be them just being like, she wanted to do a rap song in the beginning. Like, let's just have her do the rap part. So, whatever. Either way, it's the day before my audition. So, I have zero time to prepare for this.
Yeah.
So, I ended up, like, twisting around the whole rap part and making it like this like type of singing rapping kind of thing. Either way, I get up there, I do it, and Diddy like falls in love with it. He's just like, that first part of the song, like, is that a part of the original? I was like, he usually raps it, but I sing it. And he like freaks out. He's just like, I've heard nothing of the sort, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, people have been doing Drake covers forever. Like, this isn't an original idea, but whatever. And him and Khaled loved me. They were just like, this is it, like, you're super dope, great, awesome. We want more from you emotionally, but whatever, which it was totally expected because I felt like a statue up there. There's just so much space. You don't even have, like, a band on stage with you. You're like, do I move around? Like, what the fuck do I do? Especially with a song like Me, Myself, and I.
Since you didn't have time to prepare for it.
Yeah, it was just really rough, but the TV made it look kind of good.
It's kind of funny to me how... I think the first time you had laryngitis. Yeah. And you make it through. And then the second time, you didn't have time to prepare. Yeah. But then, you get impressions by Diddy and by Khaled.
Exactly. And the other two judges were Charlie Walk and Meghan Trainor.
Yeah.
And Charlie Walk was like, yeah, great job. Thanks for coming out. Like, I don't think you're going to make it, but thanks for coming out. That was his comment. I was just like,
straight
thanks,
up.
dude.
What about Meghan Trainor?
Meghan Trainor hated me. It was so funny, though. Like, my niece idolizes her, so I was trying not to be, like, a jerk on TV. But she was just like, I just don't see it. I just don't see anything, like, special about you. Like, I look up there, and she's, like, looking at the members of the four that I'm supposed to challenge. And she goes, and I just don't think you're better than any of them. And just was super rude and, like,
this is on TV.
On TV, in front of literally the entire studio audience, and then later in front of, like, the entire world. And... she was just not being constructive at all. Like, I wish she was like, give me tips. Like, tell me what I need to improve. Tell me what you want to see from me in the next song. And then I can try and implement that and prove it to you. But she was just being rude. It was just like kind of, I thought she was going to be the easiest judge to please. Mm-hmm. And then Diddy was going to be like the hardest. but he loved me right away. Like, it was super weird, just not what you expect at all. And of course, they have my brother and my cousin Richie like in the studio audience, like screaming at Meghan Trainor, just like, you don't know anything.
You don't know anything about music.
It was great, but
So then, how did it feel for you to get just completely shot down by Meghan Trainor?
I knew what my producer told me before I walked out was that I'm probably gonna be a no, but to like give it my best shot, like this is the exposure, get on TV, but you know we just don't have a lot of space for people, and it's the end of the night, like everyone had already auditioned, there was only 2 seats left on the floor, so like it's definitely gonna be a no. And I'm like, okay, so I'll just give it my best shot, like whatever. And Diddy goes off script and is just like, no, I want to give her a shot, like. Let's give her another song. Like, I want to give her another shot. Super dope. Like, so awesome.
I mean, to be quite frank, if it's Diddy versus the other 3, like,
it's his
you know what
show.
I mean?
Like,
whose word is more impressive?
Exactly. So he goes off script, and like the producers are like, "What's going on?" You know, like she's supposed to be a no. We have a bunch of other people coming out. And Diddy's like, no, let's give her a shot. So I get a challenge is basically what it's called. It's like the next step. So I get to pick someone on the 4 to challenge. I sing a song, they sing a song, and the studio audience picks who gets the seat.
Yeah.
So I sang Pillow Talk and honestly killed it. Like, did it super dope. They like cut half the song out when they showed it on TV. So it looked like I just sang a little blah, blah, blah.
And then
done. And Javaya, the girl that I challenged, she sang Diamonds, and apparently they changed her song the day before as well. So we were both just in like a shitty situation, and you could tell like in her eyes she was just not having it.
Yeah.
And I tried to like go in for like a handshake or like a hug, just be like, hey, like what's up? And she like deaded me in front of everyone, which I think kind of threw the studio audience off too. Like they were like, this girl's a bitch. Like,
yeah.
So I had never met her previously. I know nothing about her character. They made sure that me and her had 0 contact the whole time. So the studio audience picked me, and I get the seat. So, like, I win. Like, so now all the producers are like, we have to rewrite the fucking show. Like, our show was based around her. And just really freaked out about me winning. Because the studio audience votes are real.
Yeah.
You can't fake those legally. So it was just this like uproar in the weirdest moment of my life, because I was just like, I'm gonna be a no, so I'm waiting for them to say the results. They're like, and the winner is blah blah blah, Kendall. And I was like, what? I look up at my brothers and I'm like
what the fuck is
what's
going
happening?
on?
The main, like the goal for this TV show, because I was already in the process of making my album, was just to go be on the TV show, challenge the girl who has like the biggest like it right now. So she was gaining like followers like crazy on Instagram, and everyone was talking about her. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna challenge her because people will watch the video more. I'll get the most exposure, like game plan. Like
That's what I'm fucking talking about.
And yeah, so I'm like, and then I'll be a no and go home and just like live in my exposure and be fine. Like have people that really enjoyed my voice, like check out my original shit.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I win and I'm like, oh my God, I am in this for another week. Like this is ridiculous. So becoming a member of the 4 was totally not in the plan. And then you have another week until we film the next episode. So they're like, give us some songs that you want to sing, blah, 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 blah.
Same process.
I'm like, why would I give you some songs? You're not going to pick the ones I want. So I give them See You again. And they're like, no, we can't do that. Like, I'm like, okay. So I give them an Alessia Cara song where I was going Wild Things.
Okay.
And I do this like at my regular shows where I have like the band cut out and then I have like the audience join in and like do like claps and stomps, and like it just would have been so dope to do it on TV. In the middle of the week, they tell me that it's not a big enough hit and that nobody will know it. And day before, change my song again to a horrible pop song by Alessia Cara, Stay.
With Zed?
With Zed. The one that has no lyrics.
It's like more beat, if anything.
If anything.
That's insane.
And they're running us like crazy the whole week. The day I became a member of the 4, I had to go it's like 2 a.m. by this time, like by the end of the episode, by the end of filming. We filmed all day. We were filming since 11 o'clock in the morning. They send us right to the studio. You need to record your songs, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, do you not hear my, like, talking voice right now? I can barely even, like, sing.
Yeah.
You guys have been making me run this all week. Like, just give me a night to rest. They're like, okay, you have to be at the studio at 8 o'clock in the morning then. Fine. Get some sleep. 8 o'clock in the morning, run to the studio. And then next thing they have me run to an AT&T commercial where we're singing, like, what's that song by Demi Lovato? It's like that horrible, beachy pop song, whatever.
Tay knows all the pop songs.
It's belty through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And we had to sing it 50 times. And they gave me like the lead vocal for an AT&T commercial. 50 times. So by the end of the night, I'm
out.
Blocked up, like messed up, just really destroyed. And the next day they call us and tell us that AT&T pulled out as a sponsor, so that we can't promote the commercial, we can't do anything. Don't say we worked for AT&T.
You did it 50 times, and it's just like boom,
for nothing.
We're not even doing it anymore.
For nothing. So we go to rehearsal Thursday, and nothing's coming out of my throat. Like I can't sing, nothing. My coach is like, okay, well, let's just run it, like hum it, which is even worse for your voice, but like not many people know that.
Oh.
And he's just like, hum it, let's run it, whatever. He gives me this like huge note that I know I'm not going to be able to hit. And I'm just like so mentally just like broken down at this point. And I just want to go home. I'm just like, I called my parents. I was just like, you guys can fly out for this episode and I'd love to see you. But like, I'm going home. Either way, like we know we're going home because they had to rewrite the whole show so that they could get Javaya back on the show. So they did,
person you knocked out.
Yeah. So they did a comeback episode that they like, they made out of nowhere.
They probably never did.
Was never
before.
in the contract, and then give us a new contract in the middle of the week. And I'm like, what is this? I can't even show my lawyer. They're like, just sign it and give it back to us. So
what it sounds like is that even though Diddy loved you, they just wanted you off to accompany what they already had planned out.
Mm-hmm. Because they had to rewrite the whole show. They were like, it was unexpected. Like, you weren't supposed to be here. So, of course, I'm feeling like shit the whole time. I'm not even supposed to be here. And you guys are having me do radio tours and, like, all this shit just, like, that I felt wasn't important. Like, I should have just been resting. And it gets to filming day again the next week. And they just are like, okay, we're doing a half comeback and half new people episode. So you guys might be challenged by people that have been on here before or by, like, new people. So this girl comes up, and her name's Evie, and she looks directly at me, and she's like, I'm coming for you, blah, 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 and just for TV. So I'm, like, laughing the whole time. I'm like, you look cute. Like, I'm going home, so I don't care. And they gave me the hand warmers?
Yeah. So
they gave me, like, 4 of those to just, like, put on my throat because I can't talk. And they want me to sing this huge song, belt it, great. I'm like, whatever you guys think is going to happen is not going to happen. So I'll sing this song. I'll do whatever the hell you want. But, like, this is also my career on the line. So however, like, tonight goes, I need you guys to, like, make it look as best as possible.
Yeah.
Like, please don't make me look like an asshole on air. Just, like, that's not what I'm about. The whole time between, like, breaks, they're like, you guys need to talk more shit about the contestants, blah, blah, blah. So the girl sings an Aretha Franklin song. Everyone's like on there. I'm clapping for her. I'm like, she's so good. Like, she's sweet. She was just like this awesome, sweet person, and performed like Aretha Franklin. Like, just did like this crazy performance. And I'm like, and they gave me Stay, this like horrible pop song to compete with her.
Oh my God.
It was so bad. Oh my God. It was like the worst experience of my life. They're like, okay, she gets challenged. Kendall, she challenges you. And I got up there and sang it.
Especially with the Aretha Franklin song, it was very timely.
Oh my God.
Like,
everyone loved it. Like, I even loved it. I stood up for her. Like, everyone on the panel is just like standing up for her, clapping. Like, great. I'm smiling the whole time because I know if they get a shot of me angry, they're going to put that in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
To make it look like I'm like, oh, she's so bad.
So at the same time, you have to keep your composure, like,
yeah, she's great. Like, whatever. And Charlie Walk, they like do like a little interview with us before I go on, and they're like, Kendall, are you ready to eat? And I'm like, oh my God. That was like their thing. Are you ready to eat? Are you ready to eat? Like, and everyone would be like, I'm starving. I'm hungry. Like, for what? Competition? Like, it was so cheesy to me. Just cringy. Just horrible TV crap.
So then after going through that process, you got knocked out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I sang the Stay song and was just like,
Peace.
out. Like, they're like, oh, we have to do the results. I was just like, do we have to do the results? Come on. Like, and then to even like further the punch, they were like, and by a 96%.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I was like, I want to fucking, oh my God.
So.
I know.
So, going through the process of the snowstorm, the laryngitis,
Yeah.
the obvious sabotage. Mm-hmm. What did all that teach you about the television industry in regards to like music and all those shows?
It's just not shit. Like, everyone, anytime you can see someone that sings, like, what's the most popular comment? Like, go on The Voice, go on this, like, do this, because that's what makes you. And it's just not. Like, TV, if anything, is about the judges. Like, think about The Voice and how it's so, like, circled around the judges. Because this isn't about the contestants. This is about promoting the judges because they have a new album coming out. Like, you had to think about it. Like, Meghan Trainor had a new album coming out. So she does this TV show, gets all this publicity, you know, people find out about her, blah, blah, blah. Like, same with Diddy. Like, no one had heard from Diddy in forever. And then all of a sudden he comes out with this TV show. Like, DJ Khaled loves himself. Like, all this crazy stuff that was literally just panned around them. Like, it was only about the judges.
And then at the same time, let's say somebody like a Kendall Page or whoever wins the four, it looks like the Diddy or the DJ Khaled or the Meghan Trainor made them.
Yep. So it just really, you don't need a TV show to make it. And I think that was a bunch of the questions that I was getting after the show. Like, I really want to be on it. Do you have any advice for me? And it was just, don't do it. That's my advice. Just don't do it. And everyone thought I was being like spiteful. Like, oh, you didn't win, so like you're upset. And it's just, even the girl that won, like, you haven't heard anything from her. Like, does anyone know who Evie is?
Well,
like,
dude, me and Taylor were just talking. It was just yesterday, right? We were talking about who won American Idol. Like, the most successful person out of American Idol is probably Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah.
And you honestly can't comment about who. I don't know anybody else, really.
No. Can you name a single person that's won The Voice in the last 15 seasons? No, you can't, because it doesn't matter. Like, and if anything, the people that aren't winning are becoming more successful. It's just like, when you win, you're stuck in
Shout out to yourself.
New album
To
out.
the people who didn't win, you feel me?
But it's so true. Just like the people that should have won. Like, even Javia, the girl that I beat, and then they took so much work to put her back on. She got a record deal with Republic.
Damn.
And, like, she didn't win. The girl that beat me, Evie, she ended up winning. And you haven't heard anything from her. She had, like, a single come out.
So then why do you think the people who end up not winning end up having feats like getting signed to a record label afterwards?
I honestly think it's kind of planned. Like, I think Javia would have won if she didn't get a deal offer from Republic. It's all very behind the scenes, like, negotiating contracts and, like, because we all had different contracts. Like, I know Javia's said that she had to be on at least 6 episodes, where mine was just like, you're a contestant and, we'll see what happens. And it was very sketchy that way. Just like negotiating your contract. American Idol, literally half my friends got contract offers, and some of them were like, okay, if I make it into the finale, I'll do the show. And they're like, okay, yeah, you can make it into the finale, that's fine. And everyone thinks it's all about like voting and, your talent and all this stuff. And they're just like, if it's believable, like if you have a good enough talent, we'll get you into the finals. No big deal. Like, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
It's literally just like, how can I get the most exposure out of this. Like, I think the way I was thinking about it in the beginning was just like how I should have stuck with it. Like, this is just about exposure. Just do your best. Like, stop trying to win. Because, like, you're not. No one wins out of these things.
But that's kind of what you did, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I got way too in my head, like, right before challenging Evie, and was kind of just like, I just want to go home. Like, I wasn't really thinking about putting on the best performance and, like, making myself look the best. Because my second performance was shit. Like, my voice sucked. I should have said I can't perform. That, like, should have been my thing. Or I should have just, like, cut the band out completely and said, I'm going to do my own song tonight because I know I'm going home. And that was, like, my plan. Like,
oh, shit.
I regret so bad not doing that. But I was just in my head. I was just like, they want me to do this song. I have to do this song. Like, you become kind of just like a robot. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then afterwards, post the 4, you go back home.
Yep. Go back home. They send you home, like, immediately. Literally, after you get voted off, they're like, do you need anything? Do you need to talk to a psychologist? I'm like,
oh, whoa.
Like, I don't need therapy, but some people did afterwards. And I was like, I just want to see my family. And they're like, okay, well, we have to book your tickets home, and then you can go see your family. Like, it was so...
So what was the turnaround, like that night or like the next day?
They wanted to send me home that night because, like, my hotel was only booked for one more night. And then my parents had booked, like, a whole extra week here. So they were like, okay, we can book it for the end of the week, but we're not paying for your hotel anymore. Like, you have to find a place to stay. So I could do that, at least, because my parents had a hotel room. But I can't imagine the other people that were literally just like, okay, I guess I'll go home tomorrow. Like, getting on a flight tonight, just literally let me pack up all my shit.
Yeah.
It's such a dream when you're on it, you know, because they give you money every day. They're like, go buy yourself something nice, go have some dinner.
And then
blah,
they're
blah,
super easy to cut
and
you.
And then literally as soon as you get voted off, they're like, okay, you're going home. Your hotel can last for tonight, but we can also get you a flight home tonight. Like, pack up your shit. It's on your mental, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's like, it fucks you up. And I don't think anyone realizes that, like, because it looks so great on TV. But other than that, it just messes you up. Thank God I have my family there. It's like.
So then, did it mess you up temporarily, or what was going on through your head?
I watched the episode because it aired a couple days later in my hotel room with my parents and my cousin and my brother, and I just, like, cried my eyes out. It was just like, because they took clips from previously, and
it's okay.
Okay. They took clips from previous and were just of me just being, like, angry, upset, and put it in the middle of Evie's performance.
Damn.
So not only did everyone think that I did a bad job, they thought I was a bitch on top of that. So I literally, after I beat Jabaya, I got 4 death threats through email from people just being like, you better watch your fucking back. Like, I'm coming for you. I had to have security around me all the time. And then after that whole Evie thing happened, just my social exploded. I gained, 20K followers. Great. But literally, anytime I posted something, I had 300 hate comments and then, like, 100 love comments. It was just, I couldn't look at my phone, couldn't do anything.
Holy
because
shit,
people were literally, like, threatening my life. Even though it's, they're 12 years old, it's not that serious.
But still, I mean,
But
300 hate comments is a lot to chew in, especially with it being in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, it was hard. But at the same time, like, my parents were just like, Google your name. Like, Google your name for a second. Because I was so heartbroken. I was like, nobody likes me. And you Googled my name, and then, like, 600 fan pages showed up.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool, like, seeing that. Like, my friends were sending me screenshots, and they were like, look how many fan pages you have. Like, search your name on Instagram, and there's, like, 50 Shades of Kendall Page and the Golden Kendall Page. Like, it was super weird, but super cool. Like, they were just, after the hate phased out, the love stayed.
So the amount of love that you were getting basically overshadowed the amount of hate.
Yeah, because the people that hated were just, like, bored after, how the amount of time it took for them to get bored. It was just, like, a week later, there was now 300 love comments and, 10 people who left hate comments, and the people that left love comments were commenting under there and being like, go home. Like, nobody likes you. And it was nice, you know, people sticking up for me. I thought that was great, you know, and it was never any hate on another person either. Like, anyone that left me a love comment, it was all for me. Like, they were never like, F Shavaya, or like,
we love Kendall.
It was just like, you're a great singer, and like, I really hope to hear more from you. And I already had an original. I had Flower out, which was my first single, out already right before I went on the show. So anyone that Googled me got to see like my original stuff and like what I'm actually about, rather than like me, myself, and I cover.
Yeah.
You know? Because that makes you. You don't realize it. Like, your choices make you. So if I could change anything about the experience, I'd say I'm singing this song or I'm not doing the show. Like, I should have said that. You know what I mean? That's like what I would have done differently.
But I think at the same time, too, without the show, I don't think the amount of exposure would have escalated that quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think I think two things happened from you going on the 4. One, you recognized how shady the music and entertainment industry really is. Mm-hmm. But 2, that just one opportunity can really expose you to that many people. And then I think the best thing about the exposure is that you have people who love you and people who hate you.
Yeah.
You don't have people who are just like indifferent about you and just see you as like, that's just some singer.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Kendall Page. Yeah. Like, oh, this is Kendall Page. Fuck Kendall Page. No, I love Kendall Page. Like, you have those two people now who are like creating a buzz for you.
Yes, I agree. Definitely. I was at 2,000 followers before the show. Like,
Shit.
2,000. And I thought that was great. Like,
yeah.
I was like, I have 2,000 followers. I get 300 likes on a picture. I'm golden. Like, I'm making it, you know? That's what I thought. But then you get on a show like that and you're, you know, after the first episode, I was at 10K and my brother was just like, hey, congrats on 10K. Like,
that's
have you seen? I had no idea. Like, I didn't even think that my socials would blow up. So I'm like at dinner with my brother. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean 10K? And I look at my phone and I was just like, holy shit. Like that
damn near pissed yourself. That's crazy.
Overnight. From 2,000 to 10K. Just like super weird and awesome at the same time, you know?
So the amount of love you were acquiring from your newly acquired fan base, is that what was really pushing you to continue doing your music?
Yeah. As soon as I got home and like got over that whole mental barrier of, you know, maybe I'm not good enough, I just like went right to my producer's house and was like, the next single needs to come out within the next couple of months.
You're really smart for that.
Yeah. Like, you need to jump on that quick or they're like, they're never going to release anything, you know? So we released the next single, I think May.
Which was?
Acid Below the Surface. Which was such a bop. Just like, people loved it. It literally applied to anything and everyone. And I think it's like still one of the most favorite songs I've ever made. What
was your inspiration behind Bop?
Bop.
Bop. Acid. Sorry, I had Bop stuck in my head.
No, it's okay.
I was like, yeah, it was a bop.
It's such a bop. So I had broken up with my boyfriend of like 4 years.
Damn, so you even had a boyfriend in the midst of all of that. That's even crazier.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had broken up literally right before I went on the show. So like, or a couple months before, but it still felt like, looking back at it now, felt like right before. And it was just super toxic. Like, you know, people just stay in relationships, I think, because, you know, it looks great on Instagram and you can say that you're together for 4 years.
I love
like,
how that was your first thing. It looks great on Instagram, being in a relationship for 4 years.
You know, you could put that in your caption, like, 5th Valentine's Day together.
So then were you freaking out? Who was that, like, superstar Instagram couple? There was, like, some Instagram couple that broke up. Like, something like that. So were you freaking out when that whole thing happened?
I was not, but I'm sure many people were.
But so back to Acid.
Yes. So
toxic relationship.
Just like, I don't think we realize when we're in them until you reflect back on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think everyone gets in that type of situation. Even if it's a short relationship, you're like, damn, I didn't realize how many people I was cutting off because of them, what I was doing to myself because of them. It just felt really artificial. And I think I kind of wrote about that in the song. That was definitely like the inspiration for it, for me to just like write about this relationship, but also kind of just about like any relationship I've been in where I'm just like, I want you just because I can't have you, or you know, like my heart really just wants what it can't have. I think that's like what I've always been that way. Just like, do I want this just because I can't have it, or like, am I only interested in this person right now because they're kind of showing interest but not really? You know what I mean? Just like teasing the could be.
Yeah.
You know, just that whole like it could be really gets me.
So you're like very much of a believer in things.
Yeah, very much. I know. I'm like, I don't like jump into relationships, but I think that's because I like the whole in-between phase, if that makes sense. The whole like, are we dating? Are we not dating? Like, let's go out. Like, let's not be comfortable yet. Because once you're comfortable, I feel like it could go one of two ways. You know, you could just get really comfortable being the rut, being the, you know, let's stay home and watch Netflix tonight and then go to work tomorrow and then come back home tomorrow night and watch Netflix. You know what I mean? Like, I hate ruts like that. And when I'm in a relationship like that, I don't realize until 4 years later. And I'm like, holy shit, we have been doing the same thing every single night.
Yeah.
And with like the occasional, I have a show or I have a photo shoot. Like, my personal life has always been like super different and let's do something different every day. But my relationships have always just been in like ruts. Just like we had this really awesome honeymoon phase and then we get into this like, we love each other. We don't have to put in any work. Like we know where we're at, you know? So
then is it possible to be in a relationship while you're doing this whole music thing?
Yeah. I'm in a relationship right now. So like, and that reflects nothing of what I'm saying. So he's pretty cool. And I think we've stayed together specifically because we try and keep it different and just like.
That's good.
Keep it interesting. Like we moved to LA together and now we like try and do something different every weekend and just like come up with a schedule that isn't like.
So too consistent?
Too consistent, definitely.
So then how do you manage what is your guys like consistent schedule looking like?
Well, he's a marketing director for an engineering firm.
Nice.
He's super smart and just like completely different than any guy I've ever dated. I think he just like, I really fell in love with messes and like felt like I could clean them up. You know what I mean? Like
rooms?
Yeah. You know, I love rooms and messes and cleaning them. Just like people who are messes. And I'm like, yeah, you're really messed up, but like I could fix you. You know? Okay. That's like how I felt before I was in this relationship. Like he was someone that I didn't need to fix. He like had all his shit together, had all his ducks in a row, and was just like, let's just be together and have fun. Like, yeah. We don't have to go through any bullshit. You know what I mean? Which occasionally we all have our own bullshit, but like not the, I'm in $3 million in debt and like blah, blah, like.
He had his shit together.
I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know? I just want to be together and have a great time. And I get it. Like we all go through that shit. But
well, I think we all end up going through those relationships in which like you being so much of a fixer, where am I trying to go here? You being so much of a fixer, it takes more out of you to fix someone.
Yeah.
And it prevents you from being yourself because you're putting more work into fixing someone as opposed to like, let me just be me.
Yes. And you kind of become that mess. Like.
Yeah, because you're literally in it now.
In it. You just don't even realize, and you're 4 years in and you're like, wow, we have done nothing in the 4 years. Like, what can we say that we have accomplished together? You know what I mean? And I think that's what everyone needs to find in a relationship. Like, what can you two accomplish together? No matter what, you know? Thanks, guys.
Gotta clap it up, man. Clap it up. I wish you and Anonymous Man the best.
Thank you.
Shout out marketing director of a engineering firm. That's a great job. So how long have you been, I guess, fully stationed in Los Angeles now?
I just moved out here in October.
Hella recent. So that's basically the same time Albert was out here too.
Yeah, we moved out here like around the same time, and we actually did a show together in New York, which was his like moving away show. which was dope. It was just like, because we had the song together, we performed that together, and then he had me do my own set. And it was like one of the best shows I've ever done. I think he was just like, he's really into his art. So when we collabed together, it was just like really natural. I love our song together, and so does everyone else. And I think a lot of people realize that I can be in different avenues with that song. I was in a metal band actually before I did any of this. Yeah.
What the fuck?
So
Dancer and metal band.
I like experimenting with different genres, and I think like being able to do something and have a bunch of different groups of people like it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a singer. I can do metal. I can do pop. I can do like rap.
You can hop on some rap, yeah.
You know, like. And in that case, everyone can say they like Kendall Page. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
I like Kendall Page's metal stuff.
Yeah.
But I like her pop stuff. And
I think it's like the same way Kendrick Lamar had that string of like pop features when he was on like Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift. I'm like, what is this guy doing?
Facts.
And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, he's hella smart because he's just exposing himself to more fan bases.
Exactly. That's so true.
And that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So then, did you come back to New York? Did you come back to Los Angeles with that much more confidence, knowing that you had already been here and through the trenches, and now you're back really to just pursue music the way you want to pursue music?
The way I want. Exactly. I had finished the album right before I left New York, which was so perfect timing. And then I got here October 6th or 7th, and then released the album November 9th. So back home, everyone's going crazy. And like here, I was able to like walk into a store and be like, hey, listen, I have an album out. You should totally listen to it. And I ended up getting a job super quick in music. So I'm an assistant to a vice president at Westlake Pro Audio. That's my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So I think we all need a 9 to 5, especially if, you can't do this full time. You know what I mean?
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Just, everyone thinks it's such a life of like luxury and you have so much money to do whatever.
Well, I think a lot of newer artists or people who want to be in this industry think about like, oh, well, I'm going to be an artist and just an artist.
Just an artist, exactly.
But it's
I
like,
hear that a lot.
In the beginning, you don't realize how much money you don't make.
Yeah.
And at that point, how much money you're also spending to sustain yourself. Yeah.
Exactly. It's hard. Like, I mean, I got a check from the show, but it was nothing towards what I thought I was going to make. Yeah. And in that case, after you're on a TV show, everyone's like, don't you have the money? Like, come on, do a feature for free. What are you talking about? Like, you don't make money doing this. You don't. You make money touring. You make money selling merch, that kind of thing, and the occasional gig, and I get a check from my music whenever. Yeah. But it's not going to pay the bills.
So then you, as a growing artist still, what are the things that you would do for free versus the things you wouldn't at this point in time?
Yeah, at this point, honestly, features I've done, like me and Flannel's thing was totally just like collaboration, specifically because I think we both wanted to appeal to each other's audiences, and we were working with a company, Major Stage, who kind of hooked us up together. But features, honestly, I would do them for free. If I like your stuff, sure. If I don't, I'm probably going to charge you. Yeah. Just because, like, at that point, it's a job, But if I really love your stuff and I'm like, yeah, let's do this, it's just a collaboration, When it comes to shows, I really don't like doing them for free because you kind of feel like you're just selling your soul. Or, like, the pay-to-play is, like, I've done them. I'm sure I'm going to do them again. It's just hard to be in a situation where people are like, you'll do this for free, right? And you're like, you didn't even, why didn't you?
Why'd you ask?
Why didn't you think, like, yeah. I mean, you show up to work every day and they pay you, right? Like, I'm showing up, taking time out of my day to perform. So I should be making something off of it. And I'm not charging, up the whatever for my performance because also I know my worth. Like,
shit, you're on TV.
I know. Like, do you charge? How much do you charge? Like, I don't know if I can really afford you. I'm like, damn. I mean, I was on TV. I get it. But
okay? If you're willing to share, what's like the most outrageous number somebody thought they would have to charge to get you?
Oh, I did a release show with Rel, who was also on the TV show. Okay. He released an album, and Philly was his like town. So he's just like, all right, I'll pay for the Airbnb. The management will do this, and we'll pay you like $3,000. And I was just like, oh, I don't need that. Like, no, you're not gonna. How much do you have? How much are you making off of this? Like,
yeah.
And it wasn't like a play-to-play situation. So I was just like, no, give me like $500 and that's it. Like, if you're offering $3,000, like, that's it, for a night, for a set that was like 15 minutes.
You turned down $3,000?
$3,000, I know. I also got Diddy offered me money for my single Flower right after the show. He offered me $10,000 for
buy it?
To buy it, yeah. But he wanted writing credit, and I said no. Fuck that.
Who the fuck do we have in here, man?
You really know your worth. I mean, money's money. I get that, but some of my songs are like way too personal for people to claim they wrote them.
Yeah.
Like Flower is my first single, and it's literally all about my family. So it's just like, why would you want that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was just like, I see the potential. It could be a hit, blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. And for $10,000, like, if you were offering me a quarter or something, maybe. Because in that case.
A quarter of a, 7-figure type thing. Maybe.
Maybe, but not $10,000.
Dude, I really love where your head's at.
Thanks.
Because I think a lot of people don't understand the worth of their art and the worth of, like, who they are as a person. Mm-hmm. I think especially you, like, I come across a lot of artists who aren't willing to do stuff for free anymore.
Yeah.
When they're, not to compare, but when I compare, like, what you've been through versus, like, what somebody else has been through, it's like, it's phenomenally different.
Yeah.
So coming where, like, you're coming from, it's like, it totally makes sense where you recognize the stuff you would do for free, the features, but when it comes to the shows and you know how much of a performance you can really put on, obviously it was on TV. Yeah. You know it now.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, there's also a lot of people that are like, you haven't really heard of them. They contact you and they're like, I can do a feature for you and then they give me a price. And I'm like, wait a minute.
That's weird.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
I've had a couple people do that. And it's just like, I also don't want to oversell myself. You know what I mean? Like, know your worth. We all could be doing this for free. We all could be helping each other out. We're all in this shit together. Mm-hmm. And I think if you see it more as a competition and, like, people are trying to take your clout or, like, anything like that, you can point those people out.
Yeah, for sure.
But if someone's just like, I love your work, like, I want to collaborate with you, let's do it. Like, I'm not charging someone for that. Definitely not.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
So then moving into 2019, what do we have to look forward to for Kendyle Page?
Well, so I just released my album, and I didn't release any visuals with it yet.
You're a mouthful of an album. I need to pull out the title one more time. Keep in mind, it may be behind you.
Yes.
Before we get into that.
Go ahead.
Which means the album title, keep in mind, it may be behind you, means... Mm-hmm.
Oh, so keep in mind it may be behind you is kind of a sentence I repeatedly said to myself. Just to, like, you can't really change shit. And I know that's something that, like, a lot of people reference, just, like, stop looking at the past, like, look towards the future. But, like, definitely remember where you came from. That's a total thing. But for me, I was always sticking to, like, I was on the TV show, like, what do people want? I was on the TV show, like, referencing the Four a lot when it came to my work. And my producer kind of just said to me one day, like, why are you worried about that? Like, that is so behind you, blah, blah, blah. Like, So he said that to me, and it didn't really stick that time, but I was just jotting in a notebook. Jotting in a notebook while I was writing. And I wrote that sentence down, like, keep in mind it may be behind you. Didn't think about it, and my producer's, like, looking at my notebook one day, and he goes, what is this? He was like, you should name a song after this. And I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it. And then we talk about it. Acid was actually going to be called Keep in Mind It May Be Behind You. And then he was just like, it's so much bigger than that. Like, keep in mind, like, all these songs are in reference to your past. None of the songs I wrote on that album were current situations. Like...
Damn, that's even crazier.
Yeah, so it really is, like, all behind me. It was nothing current. I mean, one of the songs I wrote my junior year of high school.
Which one?
Wait 24 hours.
All right.
Yeah, I wrote that my junior year of high school, and like I found it in the back of like a marble notebook, and I was just like, wow, if you can still remember like the melody of something you wrote 3 or 4 years ago, like that's a song.
And
like,
you didn't even mean to put that on the project. You just found it in the back of your notebook.
Found it in the back of my notebook, and it wasn't even a complete like thought. It wasn't a complete song when I found it, and I just remembered the melody, and I was just like, if I can remember this, like this is something.
It's important.
Yeah. Didn't plan for it to be what it is now either. It's such like a fast paced like driving your car song, and when I wrote it, it was just like this acoustic sad song that my producer heard, and he was like, "This is a bop." I was like, "What do you mean? This is sad. This comes from pain."
A bop could be sad.
Yeah, it's true, and that's what he taught me. He taught me a lot of just like how things that you write that are meant to be slower are probably fast paced songs,
Gotcha.
which is cool. Like Acid, I wrote to be a slower song too, and it's a bop.
It's a bop. The whole project's a bop. I remember listening to the whole thing, and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all cohesive. It all makes sense.
Yes. I definitely think we have created just like our own sound without sounding super repetitive.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, back to my question.
Yes.
Moving into 2019, are you still going to be looking back, or are you going to be just like looking forward?
We want to do a visual for every song on the project. So that's kind of what we've been focusing on now. Being in LA has been really awesome because I have a bunch of friends that moved out here to be dancers specifically. So we're kind of incorporating them.
Nice.
And just kind of like really telling the stories of the songs. That's what we want to do with all the visuals.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
The last thing I want, because I watch a lot of like rapper music videos. I'm like,
performance.
it's just like boom.
Yes.
The whole time, different angle, boom, different angle. It's
yes, which I like because those music videos are super dope, but it's just like these songs are way too personal to just make them performance videos.
Yeah.
Intuition is really just a song about like me trying to be like, you're that bitch, like just keep your head up, like you're fine, like you got this, you're the girl. So that one I kind of have a feeling is gonna be more performance than like storytelling because it really doesn't tell a story. It's more just like
a flex.
Just like I know who I am, stay at that, like kind of thing. But everything else is mainly a story. So
Cool. And are you just going to be dropping these music videos periodically throughout the year?
Yes, we want to do one like every 2 months. Just drop.
So then there's no idea of having a new project come out in 2019.
I want to. I think I'm going to write a project about my current situation because I've just been writing like crazy since I've come to LA. And I've never wrote about a current situation, but I feel like I've written everything I've gone through.
Your current situation in regards to like where you're at in life,
where I'm
your
at,
relationship.
yeah.
Okay.
Just because like, it's kind of when things are going great in life, you really don't have a lot to write about. Which is kind of what I've been struggling with lately is just like, I'm kind of content. I'm kind of happy. Like, damn, I have nothing to write about because all these other songs from Keep in Mind are just like, come from either like pain or, a really hard point. Like, just like things that I thought were standstills. But now I'm kind of like, wow, I'm living in a place I've always wanted to live in. I'm in like a really great relationship. I just released my album. Like, what the hell am I going to write about? So that's kind of what I've been struggling with, but in the struggles have come like really kind of beautiful songs.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Well, let's just hope you don't fabricate any drama with your boyfriend
right?
like, purposely. I need to
hit.
pick a fight because I need to write a fucking song right now.
That's so true. Nope, can't. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited.
See. Kendall Page, this is one of my favorite podcasts.
Thank you.
Why don't you share with everybody where they could find you and your music?
Oh yeah, so anywhere, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, at Kendyle Paige, KendylPaige. Thanks.
Yay! This is The Lunch Table, food for thought. I'm Nico Blitz, Kendall Page. Thank you for being on The Lunch Table, homegirl.
Thanks for having me.
Yay!